What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I figured I'd talk about this considering we're halfway through the season and, the really, really bad teams have started to emerge. Right now the worst team in the NHL is the Columbus Blue Jackets. And, it's worth talking about because, they will now have the best chance to win the lottery and get the number one pick. And in doing so, land Auston Matthews, who is the it kid this year. I just want to say something. If they do land Auston Matthews and Sonny Milano up front, Seth Jones and Zach Werenski on defense is almost too much America for me. It's amazing. But I digress. You look at the way Matthews would fit in as that team's number one center. They had a young number one center a couple weeks ago, and they traded him to Nashville and Ryan Johansson, or they didn't trade him so much as John Tortorella ran him out the door. But I can sit here and dwell on that, but the bottom line is, they were able to get a legitimate young rising star defenseman. So it's like you get a guy like Seth Jones, a 21-year-old kid with all-world potential. It's like, I'll take John Tortorella being a dickhead and running Matthews out of town. So what's it mean if Columbus wins the lottery? Automatically he becomes their number one center, and you get him and Seth Jones as a potential franchise cornerstone on defense and a potential franchise cornerstone at center. It's kind of like, well, I'm not gonna say LA with Doughty and Kopitar, but potential. Same thing with Florida with Ekblad and Sasha Barkov. Where you have a legit number one center and a legit number one defenseman. Getting two of those things, getting one of those things is pretty tough, and have the potential to have two of them. Now, so much of it depends on Jones widening his repertoire. Likewise with Auston Matthews being the real deal. I don't think either one's going to be an issue. I've watched both of them play from the time they were, 16 or 17, and or Matthews Gate's only 15, and I could not be more impressed with what I've seen every time they step on the ice. So you look at this youth movement in Columbus. You got a line of Saad, Matthews, and whoever. Cam Atkinson. That's a good first line in the NHL right there. That's a good line for Matthews to break in on. I just think having this, for as bad as they've played, there's some talent there. So, you put Matthews in, you have Jones on defense, and I think a lot of different pieces will fall into place. And, that could get them, to being where they thought they were 2 years ago when they went to playoffs, thought they were, really building something special. Yeah, maybe it takes sucking for 2 more years and running Ryan Johansson out of town, but if that means you end up with Seth Jones and Auston Matthews, it's like, all right, take the good with the bad, I guess, and go from there. But I'd be very intrigued to see what kind of chemistry him and Saad have together. Saad's also another really, really good young American player. Young Americans, rest in peace, David Bowie. There's just so many other pieces I think could work with Matthews in the mix. A lot of it is now landing that number one pick and getting that potential franchise center. But given the way they're playing, it looks like it's going to be closer to reality than they anticipated. That's sort of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.